Time for Courtvision, where we show you the ballers in tonight's game warming up. We begin with the Brigham Young University Intercollegiate Men's Basketball team. Foose, the big man for the Cougars, led the Cougars in scoring for the last 5 games off the bench. He's only 79 points away from 1,000 for his career.
Yeah, and at 6'6", it's like, is he undersized? It doesn't seem like it with that 7'2" wingspan and the way he plays so physically, his lower body strength and his ability to create space, even when he's going against 7-footers, which he will tonight with Misi, he needs to make Baylor's interior defenders work. And he needs to fight for good spots inside, whether it's against a zone to go get catches inside in the paint and then distribute or finish at the rim. He needs to get to the free throw line. He has to be huge. And remember, in the first meeting, you know, Foose wasn't the way he is right now. And he is in a position now where BYU plays with 2 different kinds of posts. When they bring Khalifa in, you got to go out and get him on the perimeter. When they bring Foose in, you got to defend the post. Foose needs to bring it and be the physical presence inside for BYU on both ends of the floor.
Minimum 300 field goals made. Foose is #1 in BYU history at 60.3%, by the way. That's amazing. Dallin Hall, the Cougar floor general, leading the way with 4-point assists per game. Kristen.
Well, Blaine talked about the physicality inside. Well, this is the guy for BYU that brings the physicality on the perimeter. He's an extremely physical guard. Last 12 games this year, he's been in double figures. Last meeting against the Bears, he had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He really sets the tone for this BYU team. When he's at his best, he's getting to spots off the dribble. He's finding guys after he gets 2 feet in the paint. He's being physical with his opponents. He really needs to step up defensively in this one and keep the ball in front of him. When Hall is shooting 41% or better, BYU's winning. When he's shooting 33% or lower, they're losing. So he also needs to shoot the ball well, because when he does, BYU is successful.
Trying to shake off a 5-turnover performance Saturday against the Cowboys. There's Jackson Robinson, BYU's leading scorer, coming off the bench, 13.8.
Yeah, 6'7", long, athletic. Coming off the bench, as you mentioned, he is the spark that is needed for this BYU team. In that second unit, we've seen that second unit be so dangerous, and I think Jack's really, in a game like this, could be an X factor. If he comes in, can knock a couple of shots down, it will change the momentum of a game like this. He's an elite defender, on-ball guy. When he's locked in, he can be the best player on the floor.
Trevor Nell's the second leading scorer this season. He's struggled from 3 a bit the last 7 games, only shooting 19%, but he shoots 43% in the Marriott Center. Yeah,
and here's the thing. On the season, he's 40.7%. That's remarkable considering the skid he's been on for these last 7 games. So he's extremely capable. A good start for him is important tonight. Not just important for him to get some good looks, for them to run some stuff for him, to have him get some good looks in transition. If his teammates find him and he starts knocking down shots, it seems to be infectious for this BYU team, especially here at home. He has to play big tonight.
Self-proclaimed shot doctor, and he deserves it. He's awesome. Spencer Johnson's on baby watch, 9 days out from the due date from his first child, a baby boy. Kristen, that's not distracting whatsoever. He's trying to dial it in, right?
What a crazy, stressful time in your life. But out of all the players on this BYU roster, he can probably handle it the best. Totally. This guy is the rock, the steady force for BYU. And at 6'5", the senior, averaging just over 10 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists per game, just does a little bit of everything to fill the stat sheet for this BYU team. Shoots a team best 40.7% from distance. And again, when BYU loses, this is another guy that's not playing his best. He's at 7.5 points per game. When BYU's winning, he's at 12 points per game. So he needs to be in double figures in this one.
We have a lot of things to watch tonight, which is great. It's a leap year baby due date, by the way. Would you want that? Like, that'd be fun, right?
No, because then when you're 16, you're only 4. It's not good. It's not good. It gets all messed up.
Jaden Nunn, your business, is the Big 12 Player of the Week. He went for 23.5 a game last week, 11 of 18 from 3, Tyler.
Yeah, really shooting the ball well right now. Right around 18 points in his last 5 or 6, and is just playing with a lot of confidence. You talk about a 3-level guy that can get to the rim, finishes at the rack, but also shoots it really well from 3. He makes really, really good decisions in the ball screen with Misi rolling to the basket, seen a lot of lobs. That 1-2 punch is really, really difficult to guard, but he's a guy you've got to pick up and know where he's at all times.
NBA scouts are watching this next guy a lot. Jacoby Walter, expected to be a lottery pick in June. He leads the team in points per game, made threes, and free throws.
Yeah, the 6'5" freshman doesn't look anything like a freshman on the floor. He looks like a wily veteran, like he's been playing for 4 years. 6'5", crazy athletic and skilled. 16 points in that first meeting with BYU. He was 6'11" from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. He was the preseason Big 12 Freshman of the Year, and he's living up to that billing. He is a big-time player, and Baylor needs him to play well for them to have a chance on the road here in the Marriott Center.
Scored a Big 12 high 23 at West Virginia on Saturday. Next up, Ray J. Dennis, the straw that stirs the drink. 6.6 assists per game is tops in the league.
Yeah, the fifth-year senior. He's a transfer from Toledo. He was the MAC Player of the Year last season. He has scored over 18,000 points in his career. That just shows you he can
18,000?
Excuse me, 1,800.
Okay, I was going to say, Tyler, you got to run for your money.
There you go.
He just killed Tyler's record.
You got destroyed, bro.
1,800 points in his career, rather, but 19 games this year, in double figures for the Baylor Bears. He also leads the team in minutes and the league in minutes at 37. So he's going to be out there playing a lot of time out there on the court today, orchestrates the offense, does a really good job in transition, getting that ball up to the bigs, and also finding shooters when he gets to his spots off the dribble.
With a gray shirt, a red shirt, a COVID year. Who knows? 18,000 could be possible.
You get 6 years.
This is his 155th game in college,
just for the record, I have told Kristen maybe 2 billion times not to exaggerate.
That was a little much, I get it.
Yves Missi, this guy's good, man. He could be a first-round pick. Sean Farnham told us today on BYU Sports Nation. Really good offensive rebounder, second in the league in blocks per game, Tyler, and he is going to match up with Foos.
Yeah, 7-foot freshman from Cameroon, just an unbelievable finisher at the rim. His size and athleticism causes a lot of problems for defenses. He is a really good screener, and he rolls so hard to the rim, and he's looking to finish everything above the rim. He'll be a big part of Baylor tonight.
Still don't know if Langston Love is going to come back from an ankle injury. Saw him warming up earlier. He has missed the last 3 games with the bum ankle. He had 15 in the first matchup, shooting 49% from 3.
Yeah.
We've got to mention Caleb Lohner, of course. Played 2 years at BYU, back in the Marriott Center. Good to have Caleb here.
Yeah, Caleb, I think he'll get a warm welcome. And if Love can play, I mean, he's not only shooting 49%, he's shooting 53% in league play against really good defenses. And I think Caleb will get a warm welcome back here. I mean, he did a lot of dirty work when he was here. He's the go get offensive boards, go play defense, go do that. That's the role he plays really with Baylor right now. Crazy athletic. I still think the guy needs to go play tight end in the National Football League. That's his calling.
Built for it.
That's his calling.
Built for it.
Jonathan Tavernari told us a story the other day about how he got a call. He met Ron Rivera at the airport, and suddenly they're calling him a week later to come work out. He's like, nah, I'm good, while he was playing in Italy coming home.
Yeah.
And it was like, JT, you made a huge mistake. You could have been on the practice squad for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Instead, you had a very amazing professional basketball career in Italy.
Yeah.
And Brazil. No, it worked out for him.
Well, if you just see Lohner and watch him run up and down the floor, you just look at him, you just go, NFL tight end, no problem.
He does look like that.